So one day, broad daylight, you were kidnapped. Tell me what happened.
Okay, so I was actually going to get some stuff for my school because I was just graduated to my next grade, and I was just going there to just get stuff from school. And I was just going to the market, and there was a one street where I used to walk. There was no one there, and someone just grabbed me from behind, and I struggled for a little bit, and I just felt unconscious. I didn't know like what happened. Like who were these people? I couldn't scream because their hand was on my face. I couldn't scream. And I don't know how many days later, I woke up and because they were keep like, so basically I don't know what they were doing, but like I just woke up and I thought I was dead because the area I was, it didn't look like where we lived. And I thought maybe I'm dead and I'm in heaven, maybe because the
Oh,
area where I was, it's like BC. There was like mountains and it was like a fog. It was beautiful and I was a little
mm,
cold. And I'm like, what happened to me? Like where, like I had, but like it took me like a while, like to like what happened to me? Like what happened? Then I
yeah.
said, I was going to get some stuff from and people came from there. Then I just stood up. Then I saw I was on a ledge of a mountain. And I'm like, how did I get here? Like, what's going on? Then I started shouting, help me. Somebody help me. And I was just shouting for like 20 minutes and no one, because I couldn't even, because I'm not sure, like my throat was so dry and I was still trying to shout. And one person came and looked under the ledge and he's like, who are you? Like, are you high on something or you just fell down? I'm like, I don't know where I am. Then he was a cop and he brought some people over, took me up, and he said, okay, so where are you from? Like, do you live around here? Because they were speaking a different language. Like they were speaking a different kind of like a dialogue. It was a total different accent. And they said, you don't seem like you're from like, hey, I'm not from here. I'm from this city. And they're like, oh man, you're like almost like 1,000 kilometers away from home.
Wow.
How did you get here? I'm like, I have no idea. I was going to school. I was going to get some stuff from school, and I just want to get home. Just get me home. I just told them the name of the city, and they said, you have to hitchhike home. Like, there's like some trucks going that way, so we're gonna just put you in one truck, and that truck is gonna get you home. So I went to one truck and I hitchhiked, and throughout the journey, I'm thinking like, why this is happening to me? Is there even a God that, like my dad always told us God is there to take care of you, be in safe hand, don't worry, he's gonna take care of you. And I'm just thinking, like, like why this happened to me? I'm like, I'm not sure what happened to my parents, if they're alive or not, what happened to my sisters, my brother. This whole journey, like it was a 2-day journey, and I'm just thinking, like, but what happened to my parents? So finally got to my town, and as soon as I got off, and I was just walking towards home was like about like 5 kilometers. And I'm just walking, and this guy from our church, he was on his bike, and he looked at me, and he looked at me again. He's like, "Oh, that's Anisha's ghost." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "Just come on, come on, come on my bike." And he just went to the house and went to the house. We have so many people in the house, and like people were crying. And my mom was crying, and my dad saw me. He's like, "I knew you were coming home. I knew you were coming back." I'm like, "What's going on? Like, did you know where I was? Why didn't you come save me?" And like my mom, like, and I was so overwhelmed. And then I just took shower and just went to sleep. And when I woke up for like after like I don't know after 10, 12 hours of sleep, my dad said the day you went to get stuff for your school, you never came home, and we were worried about you. We sent people around to look for you, but we couldn't find you. And then we got a call day after that, and some people said, we have your son. You have to convert to Islam right now, or we're gonna throw him off this cliff.
Oh,
And if and when once we throw him off the cliff, if he survives, he's gonna break maybe all of his legs or all the bones. He won't be able to survive, first of all. If he survives, he's gonna be crippled. My dad said when he was on the phone, God spoke to him and say no to them, and I will bring him home.
oh my.
And my dad said no, and they hung up the phone. And my dad said, your mom haven't spoken to me since then. Because she's like, how can you do this to your own son? Like it's your own, but my dad said it was the God who was telling me I have to say no because I have to obey him, and I'm gonna get a reward for it, and see your home. And I was so shocked. I'm like, through the journey home, I was thinking there's no God, but
Yeah.
there's actually a God who actually saved me, and I fell and I'm alive. I have no broken bones. I have scratches here and there. That's fine, but I'm alive. Like that was a game changer for me and for my faith.